With this opportunity, I rise to support the motion that the Senate do adjourn. Mr. Speaker, sir, when I came into this House, I believed that black is black and white is white. But today, Mr. Speaker, sir, black is indeed white. It has been a very, very tumultuous time for me, very confused in terms of what are my expectations. And someone was very right, Mr. Speaker, sir, when you say that when you have expectation, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Mr. Speaker, sir, I had so much expectations about this House, being the House of Union. And I have to say, at the end of this session, I'm one of the most disappointed senators of this republic. Mr. Speaker, sir, I thought this was a House of Union, where Senator from Kirinyaga, Senator from Nyeri, my dear good friend, chair of my committee, would come here regardless of the number of people who voted for him. And my dear sister, Senator Mary Senator, nominated to come here, that all of us will come here and fight for Kenyans. But Mr. Speaker, sir, Madam Speaker, I'm sorry, I didn't see the change. I'm one of the most disappointed people because I started on by saying that corruption is in our bones. All of us, Madam Speaker. None of us here can stand up and say, I'm a saint. We are all rotten. And I want to remind Kenyans, and I want to apologize to Kenyans out there that we have failed you. We have failed you because, Madam Speaker, when we had an opportunity to make sure that the children of Ruaraka get what is rightfully theirs, corruption penetrated deeply, and at the end of the day, we failed, Madam Speaker. So lie, Madam Speaker. People died. This House came up with serious recommendations, but none of them have been implemented. In fact, some other people are bragging out there that say, look at you. You fought so hard for those poor, yet you are toothless. Madam Speaker, that is wrong and that has got to change. It is wrong, Madam Speaker. We talk about the monitoring and evaluation kitty. Madam Speaker, if this House really want to make sure that they control, they can be able to do their work of oversight. Madam Speaker, I have a bill that I've introduced which is in the second reading, which is the County Oversight and Accountability Bill 2018. I would like, Madam Speaker, I'll request for 5 minutes, please, being the adjournment motion.
Senator, it's not possible to give you 5 minutes. We have a lot of interest.
3 minutes?
1 minute, please. Just
okay.
Conclude.
Madam Speaker, 1 minute is so bad, but I'll try my best. I wanted to point out to one very important thing, Madam Speaker, in this Constitution, this book that we have here, which is our Bible. Madam Speaker, I think the members of the National Assembly misunderstand the Constitution. And I think it's about time that each one of them, or the 67 members here, buy a beautiful copy of the Constitution and gift it to these members. Parliament, Madam Speaker, is not the National Assembly. Parliament is the Senate and the National Assembly. And that is the first thing that they ought to know. Madam Speaker, the Constitution is very clear. And I want to go to the powers that is given to Parliament. I've heard so many people saying, what is the Senate business calling CSs here to come? Madam Speaker, the Constitution, Article 125, which is the powers to call for evidence, say either House of Parliament and any of its committee has the powers to summon any person to appear before it for purpose of giving evidence on providing information. That power is not given to the National Assembly or the Senate alone. It is given to either house, Madam Speaker. And what the CSs out there ought to know, like today we are disappointed, Madam Speaker. We invited the CS for petroleum to come. Yesterday, he kept us waiting. He never showed up. It is embarrassing. And then he calls us, he tells us, I am in Nyayo Stadium. I am in Ole Sereni. And then later on, I am in Kisumu. They need to understand that the Constitution is very clear that says, for the purpose of Clause A, a House of Parliament and any of its committee has the same powers as a High Court. Madam Speaker, because of time, I want to end by saying this. I want to appeal to the national government and all members of the Senate who are here to remember that our water catchment areas are vital for our existence, Madam Speaker. The Mao forest is being depleted, and I want to tell people, especially my dear good friend, who God has blessed so much and is a big tycoon, that I want you to join me, my dear friend, and let us save the Mao forest. Let us fence it. We do not inherit this planet or this earth from our ancestors. We are borrowing it from our children. And like Martin Luther King once said, Madam Speaker, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matters. What matters, Madam Speaker, is our environment. What matters, Madam Speaker, is for us to do what we sought out to do, to defend the poor people who are out there who are languishing in poverty. The gap between the rich and the poor, Madam Speaker, is so wide. With all this corruption, you know, we are talking about the mess. It is, in fact, a mess. No wonder the acronym is MES, the Medical Equipment Services. County governors do not even understand how they are being paid, how the equipments are being paid. So, Madam Speaker, I would like to urge the committee, and from the ruling given by the Speaker this afternoon, that each one of us, it behooves us, each one of us as members of the Senate, to be able to go out there and perform what this Constitution mandates us in Article 96, to protect the interests of our counties and their government. We should not have hospitals, particularly like in my county of Narok. The list that Sisi Karaoke presented here showed that over 60 equipments have been supplied to my county of Narok and they are not working. There is no electricity. This is ludicrous. It is a shame that, and I want the president to know that this country, this is a high time that Kenyans will judge the legacy. I am so happy to hear that the president has said that PSC bill, which actually, the hidden meaning of that PSC bill, Madam Speaker, if you had read the bill, it was to kill this Senate. The roles of the chairperson of PSC is clearly defined in this Constitution, Madam Speaker, that the Speaker of the National Assembly shall be the chairperson of the PSC, and the clerk of this House.
Honorable Senator,
Madam Speaker,
please be mindful,
I'm finishing.
of others also.
Madam Speaker, and the clerk of this House shall be the secretary. That is not something we are going to debate on. That was something which was done in order to be able to balance, because we know that the Speaker, Madam Speaker, you are not represented in that PSC. You cannot be able to sit in that PSC. The person who represents you is the clerk. So we must defend our House. We must also defend the Kenyans who have brought us here. And with all so many emotional remarks, Madam Speaker, I want to thank my colleagues, and particularly you, Madam Speaker. You've been gracious. You've given me enough time to be able to, speak to Kenyans out there and tell them that now that we are out there, we are going on recess. It is now time for us to meet, have some fun, eat some nyama choma. And Madam Speaker, the other day I was in Kisumu, and I ate some really, really good fish. But I'm afraid that these Chinese might end up destroying everything. Madam Speaker, I don't know whether you read that there are some viruses now getting into the fish. That is a scheme to ensure that more Chinese fish are brought here. Kisumu people must stand. I thank you, Madam Speaker, and I wish you all soon. Thank you, Madam Speaker.